Today I'm going to explain the movie called Yummy from 2019. At the beginning of the movie, we saw a doctor and his assistant. They brought a dead body of a girl without getting noticed by anyone because they were about to burn down the dead body of the girl. We noticed that the dead body of the girl was moving, which means it was not a dead body and the girl was alive. And they were about to burn down an alive girl. They put her in a fire burner and burned her alive. After some time, the cleaner of that building came there and he heard a voice from the fire burner. He didn't think about anything and opened the fire burner. We found out why they were burning her alive, because that girl was a zombie. That zombie girl dragged the cleaner into the burner, and both of them died from the fire. And the question is, how did that zombie girl come into this hospital? And if she was in the hospital, maybe there are other zombies in this hospital as well. We saw 3 people in a car. One of them was a girl, and her name was Allison. Her mother and a friend of hers were also in the car. They were going to a hospital out of the city for her mom. Allison's friend was in a medical field, but he had blood phobia. Blood phobia is a kind of disease where a person gets scared after seeing blood. When he found out that he had blood phobia, he skipped medical school. When they reached the hospital, a female doctor welcomed them. The name of that doctor was Janja. When they were going to the place of surgery, Allison's friend saw blood and started feeling dizzy. The doctor was checking up on their other patients. They were the senior doctor of that hospital, and they were the one who burned that zombie girl. The doctor did a checkup on Allison's mom and took every information from her about her mother, and he prepared her mom for the surgery. When the doctors were getting ready for the surgery, Allison and her friend waited outside. They met that ward boy and started talking to him. On the other side, her mom's surgery was about to start, but they called Allison in the surgery room. But Allison's friend felt something very strange, because they didn't do a detailed checkup on Allison, such as checking her blood group. And the most concerning thing is that the senior doctor was not doing the surgery. The ward boy took Allison's friend out of the surgery room with the excuse for a walk around the hospital. The ward boy took her to a pharmacy, and there were all the medicines along with drugs. He was taking that drug every day secretly. Allison's friend saw a girl laying on the bed. She had a big mask on her face, and her hands and legs were tied to the bed. It looked as if she was locked there. Allison's friend thought that maybe the girl was having a hard time breathing due to the mask on her face, and maybe she needs help, and removed the mask. The girl was looking so scary, and she went out of control and started biting him, even though he helped her, because that girl was not a normal girl. She was a zombie. The ward boy also came there after hearing the noise, and he also didn't understand what was actually going on. They got scared and left the room without covering the face of that girl. The zombie girl untied herself with her teeth. He immediately went to Allison because he didn't want to stay in this hospital anymore. He wanted to go away from this hospital with Allison. The doctor asked him to get out of the room, but by mistake, he got injected with anesthesia that was supposed to be injected into Allison's body, and he fainted. After some time, Allison's friend got back to his senses, and he went to the operation theater once again. He saw that everyone was running around, and the doctors were leaving the hospital with the patients. This happened because the girl he made free by mistake had bitten all the patients, and they got infected. All of the survivors tried to go downstairs through the lift, but the electricity went off, and that's why they had to use the stairs. They had so many zombies after them, and they closed the door to save themselves from the zombies. A guy panicked and pushed an old lady in a wheelchair from the stairs. He went down through the stairs, but he saw that there were so many zombies down there. And that guy hid in a room to save himself from the zombies. We saw that Allison and her friend were apart from the other people, because Allison's mom was missing, and they were trying to find her. When they were all in the room, a zombie doctor attacked them. Allison's friend tried to kill that zombie doctor, but he fainted due to electric shock. Allison thought that maybe he was dead, and she ran away from there and left him alone. Some infected people were after Allison. She went to a room to hide from those zombies, and she saw that the zombies had killed the doctors. A guy went to a kitchen to save himself, and he met a girl who was another survivor. Allison met a woman whose face was so strange. That woman was going through a surgery, and the doctors left her surgery incomplete because of the zombies. Allison went to the kitchen with the lady to save their life, but they didn't let them get inside. Allison went to a room to hide, and she found her mom in that room. Her mom was unconscious. She was running away from there with her mother, but a zombie lady started running after them. The ward boy came at the right time and killed the zombie, but it was too late, and the zombie had bitten her mother. Allison's friend woke up and went to a lab to save himself. He saw that there were some animals in a glass jar. He broke a glass jar, and an infected animal came out of it. To save himself from that animal, he started running. He went to that senior doctor in Janja. They were destroying some papers, and those papers had some information about the cure of the zombies. And they don't want the government to get those papers, and that's why they burned the papers. His assistant was putting bandages in Allison's mom's wound. All the survivors got together in one place. Allison's mother was infected by the zombies. The doctor was about to kill her mother with an axe, but her mom vomited blood on the doctor's face. The blood got into his mouth, which means now the doctor will get infected as well. The doctor started to develop a medicine for the cure from the zombie and to save himself. We found out that the doctor himself invented the virus, and he thinks if he can make the virus, he can find the cure for it too. They also found out that this doctor was making an anti-aging medicine, which will help a person to stay young forever. And the doctor did the experiment on animals first. And he did this experiment on his patients. And everyone found out that it was not any ordinary medicine, but it was the zombie virus. And that's why the zombie virus was spreading so rapidly. The doctor made a cure for the zombie virus and injected it into Allison's mom's body. But it did nothing. Allison's friend asked the doctor whose idea it was to develop this medicine. The doctor told him with a low voice that it was Janja's idea. No one heard her name except for that ward boy. But the doctor was about to say her name loudly, but before he could say her name, Janja killed him with an axe. Janja killed that doctor because she didn't want her secret to be known by everyone. Janja told them, "I killed him because he was infected, and after some time he would have turned into a zombie. And it would be very risky for us, and he could harm anyone." Another doctor and Allison's friend tried to make the cure for the virus because he was a medical student. When the doctor was about to inject her with the cure, Allison's mom bit her. The doctor knew that he would get infected and turn into a zombie, so he cuts off his hand to save his life. Allison killed her mom with an axe, even though she didn't want to. Now there were only 5 survivors left, and the place where they thought they were safe, the zombies were about to come there as well. And that place was not safe for them anymore. Allison's friend made an emergency bomb. It was a bomb that can be blasted by pressing a button. They went forward, and Allison's friend put that bomb into a zombie's body, but he couldn't press the button. The survivors decided to leave the building and go to another building in order to save their lives. They got to the rooftop, and there was a steel bar connected with the other building. They started going to the other building of the hospital one by one. All of them passed the steel bar, but at the end, 2 of them were left. The doctor and Allison's friend were left. The doctor lost so much blood due to his cut-off hand, and that's why he felt so dizzy, and he fell down from there. But Allison's friend crossed the steel bar safely. But that building was not safe as well. There were zombies in that building too. The ward boy threatened Janja that he will tell everyone that she made this virus, and the virus is spreading so rapidly because of her. They found a survivor girl, and she had a zombie after her. They saved the girl. Janja made a plan to keep that ward boy's mouth shut. She went to a room where a zombie patient was tied to the bed. She brought the zombie so close to the door, and asked the ward boy to come in. When the ward boy got to the room, the zombie bit him. Janja did this because he was thinking that if the ward boy gets infected, no one will ever know her secret, and she will be safe. But the ward boy got so angry and killed her. And he hides his wound so that no one finds out that he was bitten by a zombie. He told everyone that the zombie killed Janja, went to the ground floor, and saw that the police were outside. They had sealed the building from all the sides. The survivor girl, whom they saved from the building, got so excited after seeing the police, and she ran outside. The police thought that maybe she was a zombie, and they shot her. And the police officers thought that all of them were zombies, and there were no survivors left here. To save their life from the police and the zombies, they went to a tunnel. After they get into the tunnel, the infected animal that Allison's friend made free by mistake bites him. They went ahead and found a manhole. Allison used her fingers to open the lid of the manhole. The police thought that maybe the zombies were coming out through this manhole, so they put a car on the manhole lid. As a result, her fingers were cut off. They used another manhole, and Allison and that ward boy came out from it. After coming outside, the ward boy closed the lid. Allison's friend, who was infected, stayed alone in the tunnel. Allison and that ward boy ran away from there in a car. Allison stopped the car on the road. The ward boy, who had now turned into a zombie, started attacking her, but Allison crushed the ward boy with her car. Inside the tunnel, Allison's friend found that zombie with the emergency bomb. He pressed the button on the emergency bomb, and he got injured as well. But he succeeded in coming out from the tunnel. Allison was going forward in her car, and she saw her infected friend. Allison thought that maybe now her friend had become a zombie as well, so she crushed him with her car. Allison saw his dead body and his blood all over the car, and she felt so sad about it. Allison was regretting it. Allison looked back to see the dead body of that ward boy. Since she was driving at high speed, she lost her control and crashed the car into a tree. And Allison died in the accident. All of them were dead. And the movie ends here.